Hello, and welcome back to Broerman Farmstead. I hope everybody had a good New Year's. I know we did. We did something special with the kids. Come here. Hey, girl. Have you been enjoying all this cold weather? Huh? Have you been enjoying all that cold weather? Never fails most nights if I wake up in the middle of the night and I look outside. She'll be running around the barnyard, chasing after leaves or snow, barking at the gravel. This cold doesn't bother her at all. I wish I was her. It's bothering me a little bit. So it's been another week and we'll load up another set of bales for capers. It's a little cold. There we go. I don't know what it is about any of these tractors around here, but as soon as I turn one on, start driving around the farm, you can see Sky back there. She goes nuts. She barks at the tractor, tries to bite the wheels. She goes absolutely crazy about it. I'm no expert in canines. I don't know why she does it, but it does entertain her. So I'm just going to go ahead and hook this tractor up to Caper's bale wagon and haul it out to the field and load some bales up out there. Might even throw one extra bale on there while I have it out there and bring one up to feed my own cattle. Well, that ought to be close enough to get this hooked up. And there we go. We'll head out to the field and load it up. So we're going to actually head out to the far side of this tube that we wrapped. If you remember from watching the video earlier this year, we were wrapping this. All these bales on the end closest to the house and the farm were a lot of grass bales, and the last about 100 bales we wrapped in here were all bales that came off of my two fields here at the farm, which was mostly alfalfa. Being that it's cold out right now and it's frozen, I might even throw a couple extra on there and see if they don't mind taking a couple more now instead of having to wait a little bit. 9, I got a small bale here. I'll keep that one, feed that one to my livestock. And that one makes 10. Whew, it's mighty cold out here. Now, I'll be honest, I really do not prefer to make my bales as round bales, and on top of that, I don't prefer to end up tube wrapping them. To me, that's just extra cost that I don't really see the whole value out of. I understand for a lot of people that round bales is really nice, cheap, and convenient. And I could agree. They are cheaper and they are convenient. But for myself and this farm, I've got a really nice, big, beautiful barn to store a lot of hay in. So I'd much rather prefer to put all my hay in that barn's little bales if I can. But when the weather doesn't cooperate and I don't have the time, round bales is what we get. I hire my neighbor to make them up for me. And when the weather doesn't cooperate with us and we don't get the right drying days and we have to make wet hay, well, I'd rather make good quality hay and wrap it than let it rain on it, dry out, rain on it again potentially, and have poor quality hay. So again, this is another year of me having to put a tube down with roughly about 150 bales in it. That way I have good quality hay instead of mediocre hay. It is mighty cold out here, and I really should have brought some gloves out here. My fingers are getting pretty cold already. gonna squeeze 10 bales on here today. I know that in the past I've been able to easily get 12 on here. So 10 should not be an issue. This tractor this winter, I plan to give it some extra love. I've got new bushings for the bottom of the radiator to get that shored up right. I'd like to get a new gasket for the exhaust manifold and potentially even a valve cover gasket because it has just a little bit of an oil leak up there and a little bit of an exhaust gas leak. Looks like we finally got far enough into the tube that we changed fields. This stuff has just a little bit more grass in it than the stuff that we were loading up. I got the wagon hooked back up, and I wasn't going to show you guys me struggling with that thing. But we're going to go ahead and pull us up to the farm and get working on some other things. Let's go! This 424 doesn't have too many horsepower. I'd have to look up and figure out how much it actually does have. Come on now. I can't remember if it's 30 horse or 35 horse, but we've got a couple pretty small hills out in this field, and trying to pull this wagon loaded with bales is a struggle for it. There you go, this guy's already coming out to meet us. And as for this International 424 gas loader tractor, I do think it's getting closer to needing a rebuild. I'm getting quite a bit of blow-by out the valve cover, smearing up the valve cover with dirty, greasy looking oil. I've got on the back of the valve cover a decent leak, which, you know, that can be fixed with a valve cover gasket. I've got an exhaust gas leak coming out right where the exhaust manifold meets the exhaust. A couple years ago, the clutch on this had one of the dogs wear out and the bolt sheared off. I went in there and mended it for now. This will need a clutch in the next couple years, and even the transmission, I believe that the shifting forks are starting to wear down because some gears don't shift as good as they used to. As long as I'm around this tractor, we'll go nowhere on this farm. This is one of the original tractors that my grandfather had when farming here, and one of the tractors that I had purchased from him when I started. This tractor has seen a lot of years of heavy use and good use, and in my opinion, it's one of the most useful tractors around here. Even if someday I do get a skid loader, I will keep this tractor. It has a place on this farm, and it will for a long time. It's nimble. It does have a pretty decent lifting capacity, you know, roughly 1,400 pounds or so is what I found out after weighing some bales over at Capers. So that's not bad. I can live with that. Having that rear weight on here makes it a more utilizable tractor. I put this quick attach on the front of this tractor a handful of years ago, and it was one of the best decisions I've made with this, and it's been very useful. I can put any bucket on there I want, pallet forks, this bale spear, and I've even considered putting some auxiliary hydraulics on the front. That way I could potentially get a grapple of some type, because it would be handy in some applications, and maybe even handy pulling out some of this pen pack in the barn. And I've known for quite some time that this tractor was going to be getting close to a rebuild, and that's why I actually bought that John Deere 2030 a couple years ago on a sale. That way, when I need to take this tractor and have it apart for months on end to work on repairing those things, rebuilding probably this motor, fixing the transmission, and potentially giving it a paint job, I've got something that I can utilize around here. We'll go ahead and pull that little bale off the top there. There we go. I don't have the best bite on that. My spear's only about halfway into that bale. There, that's better. That's 3/4 or more of the spear end. Look, we got Sophia, Belle, and our little bull that we have to name yet, all ready to go. They hear the tractor running, and they're ready to eat. I will say what, this bale smells really nice. It smells sweet. The hay, and it looks very good. Now, I haven't tested any of this to see what the protein's like and nutritional value of this hay, but just on appearance, it looks good and it smells pretty good. How's it going, girls? Would you like some more haylage? A little bull calf, you're doing pretty good. Pretty happy over there chewing on your cud. Maybe even eating a little bit of that hay that's left in there. Huh. I'll take a look at our hay feeder. We'll put that bale in this one because this one's empty. This one over here does have just a little bit left in there. You can see that as that round bale gets ate, it got enough slope in this to where it keeps forcing more down and presenting itself to the livestock. And I'll just gently try to set this bale down in there, that way it doesn't go crash into the other end. There you go. And as you can see, that bale has slid down to the end. They can get to it. They can eat off of this top section or anything down here, pull it out. I do have to clean this bottom tray down here. It's a nice big tray. That way any of the hay they pull down falls in there, and most of it will stay in there and be edible to them. Because as you see on the ground there in front of it, any of that hay that they do pull out and it falls on the ground, they tend to not eat it. They trample on it, poop on it, pee on it. That's just waste. So as much of this hay that we can keep in the feeder as possible, the better. Before I had this feeder, I had just a round bale ring in here, and when I had 20 steers, I was going through 3 round bales a week, plus the corn that I was feeding them. As soon as I put this bale feeder in after building it, I went down to 1 bale a week. They were wasting that much hay. This thing has paid for itself more than once at this point. There are some modifications that I'd like to make to it if I ever made another one, and I have changed it a little bit since I built it. But I like it. I understand they make basically cattle gates, panels, whatever you want to call it, that are fence line feeder panels, and I had looked at them and looked at making a square into my lot here, concreting it and putting a feeder in. That meant that potentially once a day or more I'd have to come out and push that hay back up to the cattle. With this, I don't have to. It keeps presenting itself to them for me, which allows me to take my time and invest it elsewhere on this farm. So now we got them bales loaded up. We'll take a couple minutes, check over the livestock real quick while I'm out this way. That new water tank's doing well. I come out here and I check it 2 to 3 times a day to make sure that it's got water in it. And it's not frozen. It does have that heater in there, but I don't know, trust issues, I guess. I'd rather have peace of mind and check it than not and realize that they haven't had water in hours or days. The little calves are doing well. Looks like I could get them a couple more bales and get them some corn. This farm, we don't actually have a whole lot of ground. I only make grain off of anywhere from 10 to 15 acres every year, and hay off of between 30 to 50 acres a year. Most of the income and cash flow on this farm comes from our livestock. For years now, we've been selling beef direct to consumer. Anywhere from 12 to 20 head a year. So with making most of our money on this farm through livestock, it's always been one of my dreams and goals, because we're already going direct to consumer with the beef, was expand that. We've done pork some in the past, and I've got these 4 pigs here now, but I plan to mostly use those for our personal family. So being the new year, now is as good a time as any to let you know some of the new things that's going to be going on around this farm. One of our dreams was to always open a direct-to-consumer farm market. We've been wanting to do that for 10 years since we started farming. We figured now's the time to do it. I've got 200 laying hens ordered that'll be coming in this spring. I've got broilers and some turkeys for later in the year. I've always been curious and interested in some of the pastured poultry model and selling direct to consumer. So we're going to explore that this year. We're going to put a farm market up on the farm, and we're going to sell not only our beef direct to consumer, but we plan to sell pork, chicken, eggs, and potentially some other products, depending on what Ashley would like to make, and any other products that we like, believe in, and can put our trust behind. So over the coming months, you're probably going to see videos of me building stuff for these chickens that are coming in. You're going to see me building this farm market, getting ready for some of that, and some of the new challenges that's going to be on this farm with raising some different livestock. I've been looking forward to this opportunity. For years, I've been following people on YouTube, like Pete at Just a Few Acres Farms. Him and Hillary are people that I've looked up to and appreciated what they've done for themselves and their farm with their direct-to-consumer sales. And I believe that they're a good role model to be looking at for this. So that might be pretty exciting for you guys to watch as some of the things change around this farm, gearing up for those new opportunities.